So tonight's just a little bit warmer than last night, and I actually feel like it's getting slightly warmer as time goes on. I've seen some field crickets tonight, a couple of tiny little moths flying about, and I just found this little jumping spider. I've got a real soft spot for jumping spiders. They're so cute and interactive. I don't think I've seen this species before, so I'm pretty excited to find it. Thankfully, this spider's not exactly on the prowl. I probably owe that to the cooler weather, so that's a plus. Whenever I'm camping and I find a dead tree with some of these branch hearts sticking out of the trunk, I like to pull these off and bring them along with me. These things are denser than the normal wood. They're often filled with a lot of sap, and they burn a lot longer. These, however, are so old, they're probably not filled with much sap anymore.
Not only that, but I forgot to mention one more detail. They smell amazing when you burn them. So, they catch relatively easily, they burn for a long time, they're easy to gather, you just pull them out of the rotting logs, and they smell great. I don't usually cook on them, at least not the evergreen variety, because the smoke can be a little bit resinous, but they are really good for keeping warm and keeping that fire going. And I've got a whole bunch of them. Look at the size of that one.
Yeah. The shadow of this branch has given me a mustache. I'm a cowboy. I haven't slept much. Actually, I got good sleep last night. I got 4 hours, at least. That's some of the most sleep I've had in weeks. You know, I thought I was going to go to bed early, and of course I was up until 4 in the morning doing stuff. But let me tell you, I found myself a black widow. I really wanted to find a black widow for this trip. Now, sort of unfortunately, it's an immature black widow, so it doesn't, sport the characteristics of a black widow yet. It is a female because it's got the makings of an hourglass on her underside, and she's got the adolescent markings of a black widow on the top of her abdomen, which are beautiful, mind you. So I sort of bonded with her last night. I was holding her a lot, but I guess I can't say bonded. I like her a lot. She doesn't, I'm just part of the landscape tour. And she started to make a web in my hand too when she was going. It was cool. But anyhow, black widows, regardless what people say, no one's died from one. You would wish you were dead though, because the venom evolved to create tons and tons of pain in your body. It tells your body you're in the worst pain of your life. This pain will top any pain you've been in. I've read more than once. So I don't want that to happen. For a week, no thanks. But they rarely bite, and even then, they rarely inject you with venom. And I want to keep it that way.
There's a European hornet. Please land on my bag so I can film you. They raid the trash and your food and stuff this time of year. They become scavengers rather than hunting on insects and nectar and stuff. They become thieves. They even steal from spider webs. Okay, so I've got my larger fuel over there. Got this stuff here, and I got all this stuff here. So when I get back, I don't really have to worry about collecting stuff. I do that all the time. I also leave the stuff closest to my area alone, because you never know how you're going to feel, what may or may not be wrong with you. You want stuff close by so you don't have to go a distance. You never know. So I collect outside of a certain perimeter and leave all the stuff close to me alone. Then I've got different grades ready to go. Makes things so much easier. Wharton State Forest in September really allows me to see a mixture of both summer landscape
and the first hints of an autumn landscape. It's a beautiful contrast and it highlights the transition really well. One of my favorite things about the Pine Barrens is finding the slow-flowing water like this right here. While it appears really dark and reflective in nature, it's actually a deep red tea-like color. And it gets that from flowing through the roots of the cedars and pines and collecting those resins. But I can't help thinking that the bog iron that the Pine Barrens are famous for also plays a role in the equation.
Wow, I hope that was a turtle and not an awesome snake. Oh, this must be the yellowfinches again. This looks like this was a wetland. Or is a wetland. Yeah, there's some water. Some lily pads and reed type stuff.
Oh, that could have been a problem. That could have been a real problem. These look like paper wasps. A bunch of those would hurt. Not as bad as yellow jackets. Look at the cavity they made. That's cool. Wow, these dragonflies are so big, but they're really hard to film. I mean, those things are like 1.5 stories off the ground, but they're just hovering about. I wish I could film them. Have a look at this amazing wetlands. I've come here several times over the past like 6 years or so, and it never fails to impress me. Boy, would I love to get my hands on a canoe and explore this habitat. Someday, hopefully soon.
Even in the fall, there's still a lot of beautiful flowers in bloom to enjoy, like this one here. This is one of my favorite Pine Barrens flowers. I think this is called Meadow Beauty or something, but I love these and I don't see many of them. For being a camping video, I know I'm not doing a whole lot of bushcrafting right now, but being the fact that the Barrens are always such an exciting habitat to me, I seem to be focusing more on my naturalist interests the past few days. Sorry about that. Here's some cool pitcher plants. Of course, these are carnivorous plants, and I love finding them.
These pictures seem to have a lot more red or burgundy in them.
Is this a spider burrow or not? I mean, look at the needles. There's definitely a deliberate pattern going on here. I'm starting to wonder if the architect is a spider after all.
The gills in this dried up mushroom are beautiful looking. Incredible texture and pattern.
Hey guys, so you hear that? That's katydids and cone noses singing into the night, and I'm really happy about that. I was hoping tonight would actually be warm enough. I think it's got to be like maybe in the 60s, and therefore it's warm enough for these things to be singing. Maybe that means I'll find some other invertebrates and stuff walking about. That would be wonderful, because the last 2 nights all I found were daddy longlegs, maybe some field crickets. Today was an eventful day. You know, I hit a lot of spots over in Wharton. Well, I'm still in Wharton. And found a cool wetlands, you know, and some other spots. Just really cool. I'm exhausted, but I'm hoping to go out tonight and find some stuff. I'm cooking some food right now, and I really hope these insects sing late into the night, because there's nothing better than hearing that sound at night. I just love it so much. I thirst for it all the time. Oh my God, the steak is so good. Diced up some garlic, got this onion, and I'm good to go. This fork is terrible. Forgot to bring a fork again. It's literally probably sitting at the top of the stairs.
I'm wondering if this is some sort of rhinoceros beetle. It's pretty small, but it's got the little horn at the front of its head. Curious.
You know, some of the coolest antennae I've seen on insects have been on really small beetles. These ones are no exception. I'm not sure if this is a snail hunter or not, but it's some kind of carabidae beetle for sure. This little froglet's kind of throwing me off right now. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's an immature bullfrog. Either way, it's cool.
So overnight, the ants seem to have built this little tower here, but it would be more appropriately termed a launch ramp.
This is a grass spider. Scary as these look, they are timid little bundles of getaway sticks with a venom medically insignificant to humans in most cases. This moss serves as a good indicator of clean air quality. So, in short, this area has some pretty clean air.
even if you're not a fan of black widows, can still admire the beauty.
There are numerous types of snail hunters out there, and this one is often referred to as the narrow-headed snail hunter for obvious reasons. Well, here she is. It's the next day. Unfortunately, we'll never know the final chapter to her story, as I gotta finish breaking camp and pack my gear and head off to find and film the star of a future video. Thanks a lot for watching. Once again, I'm Chris Ignato, signing out.